30 years summarized in a video. If I had followed these tips, I would be very rich today. So I recommend that you do not make the same mistakes I did, especially mistake number 6, which is the most important for the future of your life. This is your unique opportunity to learn from my mistakes, not yours. Shall we? But first of all, I want to extend a 100% free invitation to you. In case you don't know, or if you don't follow me on Instagram yet, I am Brazilian, and on Tuesday, May 4th, I will start teaching how to invest in the Brazilian market, even if you live outside Brazil. Here, fixed income yields more than 14% per year. Many foreigners invest in Brazil, in case you didn't know. We have good energy stocks that pay dividends, and our real estate funds pay more than 1% in dividends per month. It is by investing in Brazil that I am able to take international trips, like the photos on my Instagram. If you're interested, just click the subscribe button and I'll teach you. And don't forget to leave a like, it helps me a lot. So, let's go to the video. First point, I would distance myself from all the people who do not help me evolve. There is a concept in psychology called behavioral contagion effect. It states that you absorb the behavior patterns of the people around you without realizing it, automatically. Jim Rohn, one of the greatest behavioral economists of the last century, said something that is still studied today at the best business universities in the world. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I will leave a video above that talks exactly about this topic. It's not poetry, it's behavioral science. If you spend most of your time with people who never talk about investment, who spend everything by the end of the month, who complain but do not act, your brain normalizes that. Normalizing failure is the biggest obstacle to financial success. I am not saying you should cut friendships for no reason. I am saying you should be honest. Who is pulling you down? The answer is worth more than any financial spreadsheet. Remember, the comfort zone pays a salary. The risk zone pays dreams. Second point, I would get closer to people who are always behind evolution. You don't need to be a millionaire. You don't need to be an influencer. You need to be someone who wakes up every day with a clear goal, who reads, who learns, who tests, who makes mistakes and keeps going. This type of person creates what I call positive environmental pressure. When you are around those who are growing, you don't want to stay still. It's not competition, it's practical inspiration. Study groups, investor communities, entrepreneurship events, even a podcast listened to every morning can change your frame of reference. The right environment doesn't just motivate you, it compels you to evolve. Remember, you can't skip the hard part because it's what makes you grow. Third point, I would exclude all the toxic garbage from my life on the internet. Here is a fact that few talk about. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, these platforms are not the problem. The problem is what you consume on them. The algorithm is neutral. It delivers more of what you already consume. If you consume empty entertainment, it delivers more empty entertainment. If you consume financial education, marketing, entrepreneurship, it delivers more of that. The change starts with a simple action. Unfollow everything that doesn't teach you anything useful. In a month, your timeline will look like a different platform. Fourth point, stop complaining as every difficulty is a learning test. And look, I'm not being naive. I know that life is hard, that the system is unequal, that the cost of living rises and wages do not keep up. I know this, but complaining is costly, and almost no one calculates that cost. Every time you recount a problem without seeking a solution, you spend mental energy, time, and focus. And these 3 resources are finite. There is a fundamental difference between 2 questions. Why did this happen to me? This is the question of complaint. What can I learn from this? This is the question of growth. Problem became data. Data became decision. Decision became result. This is the logic that separates those who grow from those who stagnate. Fifth point, I would analyze the behavior patterns of wealthy people. Not the wealth itself, the patterns, how they organize their day, where they invest their time, what they read, how much they sleep, how they make decisions under pressure. Warren Buffett sleeps well and reads for 5 to 6 hours a day. Ray Dalio meditates. Howard Marks writes memos to clarify his thinking before acting. It's not a coincidence, it's a system. There is a concept in behavioral economics called cognitive modeling. When you study the patterns of a successful person deeply, your brain starts to create similar neural pathways. You begin to think similarly. This is not self-help, it's neuroscience. Choose 3 people you admire financially. Study deeply how they live, not just what they say publicly. The difference is behind the scenes. 6th point, and this is the most important of the video, I would study financial education as quickly as possible. I'll give you a number that changes everything. If you invest $300 a month with an average return of 12% per year, which is a conservative and achievable rate in Brazil with fixed income and direct treasury, in 30 years, you will have accumulated over $1 million, $300 per month, consistently. But if you start 10 years later, that amount drops to approximately $300,000. You lose $700,000, not due to a lack of money, but due to a lack of time in the market. This is called compound interest, and Albert Einstein referred to it as the 8th wonder of the world. Compound interest does not work for those who start tomorrow, it works for those who have already started. In Brazil, there are accessible investment vehicles, direct treasury, CDBs, LCIs, LCAs, private pension funds that anyone with $10 a month can already access. You don't need a lot of money to start. You need knowledge to avoid wasting what you already have. 7th and final point, I would create an online business to generate extra income. An extra source of income, even if small, serves 2 fundamental functions. It reduces your dependence on a single source of income, which is the biggest financial risk that most people overlook. It can be reinvested, and when you reinvest extra income, compound interest starts to work at double speed. This channel you are currently watching is an example of this. It could be a skill you already have that can be offered as a service. It could be a digital product. It could be something as simple as renting out what you don't use. The point is not the format. The point is to create something that generates value independent of your active time. Active time is limited. Digital or financial assets are not. And an important warning before you go, only start investing after organizing your debts. Investing with expensive debt is like filling a bucket with holes. I will leave this video here that shows you exactly how to get out of debt in a structured way. So, if this content helped you, don't forget to leave a like, because you deserve to receive more valuable content like this that makes you smarter. Subscribe to start your valuable future. Until next time.